A shocking upset. They eliminate the heavily favored Clippers here in the second round, and an historic series win. 6-0 in elimination games here in the bubble. Much respect for the coaching staffs.
Leadership. The biggest difference between LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. Now, I'm not saying that Kawhi had his worst season ever, but this Clippers team really didn't live up to their expectations. They were the favorites to win it all by many analysts, fans, and media out there. But what went so wrong with this team that's stacked with talent? Was it Paul George's terrible playoff performances? Is it Kawhi's lack of vocal leadership on both sides of the floor? Or are there chemistry issues? But the main question here is, should they blow it up? And my answer is a hard no. In my opinion, the Clippers' biggest mistake was thinking that bringing in Kawhi forced them to make a win-now team. Forcing that Paul George trade literally destroyed that team's future. Kawhi Leonard is only 29 years old with at least 5 prime years left in him. In those 5 years, he could have built a way better team. Because adding another superstar that's fresh off a championship and finals MVP into a team that just last year took 2 games from a healthy Warriors team already looks great on paper. But what was the main reason for their failure this season? I believe Paul George's inconsistency really put a dent on this team. In Game 2 of the first round against the Mavs, Paul George shot a terrible 4 of 17, including 2 of 10 from 3, scoring only 14 points. But this is not the first time Paul George choked on the big stage. Look back at 2018 of the first round against the Jazz in Game 6. He shot a horrific 2 of 16 from the field and 0 for 6 from deep. The only way the Clippers can win with the exact same team they have now is if he steps up and actually contributes. Just this season, Paul George put up 21.5 points, 3.9 assists, and snatched up 5.7 rebounds. And just the season prior, PG put up 28, 4, and snatched up 8.2 rebounds. Yeah, you can say it's the injuries, but he's the same one that said his shoulders are 100% on an Instagram Live. And also, after another bad performance this postseason, he was shown icing his shoulder, which in my guess he was trying to say it was bothering him, but he's not fooling me or a lot of people for that matter. And don't get me wrong, I used to be a huge Paul George fan. I own 2 pairs of his shoes, and if there's anyone that wants him to go back to his old self, it's me. I want the same PG that gave LeBron and the Heat problems back in 2013. If somehow, someway, Paul George goes back to his PG 24 days or his MVP candidate regular season for OKC days, this team will be in the Western Conference Finals next season. And going back to Kawhi, in all honesty, he cannot lead a team. During that 2019 Raptors playoff run, Kyle Lowry was that anchor that held the team together. We all know Kawhi doesn't talk, but leading a team only physically and not mentally can only lead you so far. The Clippers had no leaders whatsoever this season. There were even reports that Paul George tried to talk to the team and they were straight up disrespecting him right in front of his face. Like, how are we going to listen to a dude that's shooting below 30% this series? But that's the biggest issue about this team. The talent is there, but there's no one leading that team. Instead of treating your teammates with disrespect, you should acknowledge that he's trying to pick up this team because he knows damn well that he's in the wrong too. Because at the end of the day, it's a team sport. You need all those 12 to 13 guys to produce either on the floor or supporting on the bench. Now, what are some offseason key moves the Clippers should pull off? My first goal is to bring in a 2-way point guard. It would be a dream come true for this Clippers team if they bring in Jrue Holiday. Jrue is a great player who can create his own shot and can guard his position at an elite level. I believe this will complement Kawhi and PG, but I just don't see what the Clippers have that the young and growing Pelicans would want in return. They have no intriguing picks in any time in the future, and the only key players they can include in a trade is Landry Shamet or Terrence Mann, who was a young player that proved himself in a game versus OKC in the bubble. He put up 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 9 assists in a near triple-double win against an excellent team. His movement off the ball is amazing and is great with spacing the floor, which will be perfect for Zion to work down low. If this somehow works for the Clippers team, they will for sure be seeking revenge next season. But the chances of it happening are extremely, extremely low. So what's the reality for this team? They should re-sign Trez, who just won the 6th Man of the Year award. He also brings great energy off the bench and even to the starting lineup. The best hope for this team is to run it back with the same squad next season and hope the Lakers don't get stronger. Right now, it's way too early to tell what seed or how far they will go next season. The Clippers should hope to find another asset that can benefit their team. But as of this moment, it's hard to tell. Well guys, if you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up. And if you don't agree with anything I said, please leave a comment down below on what I said that you don't agree with. But on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.